Hello people, this is Kerry Anderson. Hope you all doing well. In today's video, I'll be talking about synchronicities, a sure sign you are on the right path. So if you like the video related to manifestation power, I would like to request you all, please do subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon or give thumbs up so that I will come up with more and more videos with lots and lots of information. So here we begin, let's go. Synchronicities, a sure sign you're on the right path. I used to be a reporter for the Cincinnati Inquirer back in my 20s, and for roughly half of my decade long tenure there, I kept hearing a call to quit and become a freelance writer, a decision I largely ignored for years because it was scary stuff. However, after years of trying to ignore this call, the sign pointing towards it took on a whole new tack. This is how it began. I was driving home from work one day, listening to a song on the radio called Desperado by the Eagle, and as I pulled up to the curb in front of my house, the last line I heard before I turned off the car was, "Don't you draw the Queen of Diamonds? She will beat you if she will able. The Queen of Hearts is always your best bet." I turned off the ignition, opened the door, stepped my foot onto the curb, and there at my left foot was a playing card, the Queen of Hearts. I just sat there utterly dumbfounded and wondering, of course, what it meant. When I mentioned the incident to a friend that evening, she said, with an extravagant quality of assuredness, that when you are on the right path, the universe winks and nods at you from time to time to let you know. She also said that once you start noticing these little cosmic cairns, once you understand that you're on the right path at all, you will begin to see them everywhere. It's what happened. She reminded me when I bought my Toyota and suddenly started seeing Toyotas everywhere. I didn't know I was even on a path, I told her, much less whether it was the right one. I simply found myself unable to make head or tails of the episode and ended up feeling it under an explained phenomena, along with ESP, deja vu, spoon bending, water witching, spontaneous remission, and certain incomprehensible acts of human forgiveness. But even more remarkable than finding that Queen card when I did was that over the next 2 years, as I searched for the sense of clarity and courage about this call, I found 5 more Queen playing cards in incredibly improbable locations all around the country: a sidewalk in Cincinnati, a conference room in Santa Fe, a sand dune in Cannon Beach, Oregon, a mountain wilderness in Colorado 6 miles from the nearest trailhead. The whole thing made the Twilight Zone seem like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And every time I found another Queen card, the sheer unbelievability of it took another giant step forward, and eventually it went so far beyond the law of probability that I only barely hesitate to say that's impossible. There was nothing more going on here than a statistical aberration. This was orchestrated by something with wits, which shot my rational view of the universe pretty much to hell. I come from a family of scientists, detectives, journalists, non-fiction writers, and New Yorkers, and you don't get a more cynical bunch than this. And this stuff just does not happen in our universe, and yet, though the phenomenon became more inscrutable with each find, in a way, it also began making more and more sense. A pattern, more a passageway seemed to emerge. I came to understand that this rather profound administering of chance was directing me towards something both my writing and my life needed at that time: more heart, less head, more intuition, less intellect, more of the inner life, the emotional life, the life of the senses, More listening, more of what Carl Jung referred to as the anima, the force of the feminine in a man's life, and the queen of the course is the archetype of powerful feminine energy, which I feel myself being compelled toward by the kind of meaningful coincidence Jung called synchronicity. Synchronicity are even connected to one another not by strict cause and effect, but by what in classical time were known as sympathies, by the belief that a casual relationship exists between event on the inside and the outside of ourselves, crosstalk between mind and matter, which is governed by a certain species of attraction. Jung believed that synchronicities mirror deep psychological process, carry messages the way dreams do, and take on meaning and provide guidance to the degree they correspond to emotional states and inner experiences. For example, you are trying to decide whether to say yes or no to a particular opportunity, and while driving on the freeway, someone suddenly cuts in front of you and you notice the bumper striker. Just do it. Or you are struggling to focus your energies, not spread yourself too thin, and scatter your interests and intentions among too many projects, and while taking photograph one afternoon you drop your wide angle lens and shatter it. You can derive meaning from just a coincidence when an external event matches up with an event on the inside. It doesn't not always. You might be sitting in a waiting room, for instance, reading a magazine article about George Gershwin, when the receptionist sticks her head out the door and calls for the next patient, a Mr. Gershwin. And as outlandish as this may seem to you, if it finds no hook on the inside, it's not a synchronicity, only an amazing coincidence. If it means something to you, however, then it's amazing and potentially instructive. A synchronicity is a coincidence that has an analog in the psyche, and depending on how you understand it, it can inform you primarily through intuition and emotion, how near or far you are from what Gallus Castaneda calls the path with heart. Among shamanic cultures, said anthropologist Michael Hanner, in the way of the shaman, synchronicities are considered a kind of homing beacon analogous to a radio directional signal indicating that the right procedure and method are being employed. In a movie called Grand Canyon, one of the subplots involved a woman who finds a baby, and even if she believes is a reply to a deep yearning inside her, in other words, a synchronicity, a correspondence between a physio or psychological state and a physical event. But when she tells her husband she wants to keep the baby, he is instantly stricken with a migraine. In frustration, she leaps on top of him on the bed, grabs him by the shirt, and shakes him. A headache, she says, is an appropriate response to a miracle, which was easy for her to say since it was her miracle, not his, but she still had a good point. Synchronicities are minor miracles, little mysteries that point to a bigger one, perhaps a central one, of which we are all a part. In contemplating synchronicities, don't just marvel at the laws of probability, but wonder at their meaning. The primary reality of synchronicities is emotional, not intellectual. The reason they are there is to make us feel something, and the feeling that our lives are rich, and what our reflection comes in part for our sense of a depth and a mystery of life. In fact, maybe the most important thing synchronicities offer is astonishment. How often, after all, in the course of a day or a week or a month, do you find yourself thunderstruck, flabbergasted at life, amazed by Its finest synchronicities are like the glimpse of a wild animal seldom seen, the discovery of an arrowhead or a gourd, the return of a purse by some good Samaritan, far removed from the monotonous that seems to characterize such a vast portion of daily life. They help reconnect you to your sense of awe. And given the tyranny of the commonplace, what a service. So that's all about the manifestation in this video. I hope you all liked it. I personally prepared a small presentation which will be going to share in the description box below. You can check it out from there. So before signing off, I would like to request you all, please do like, share, subscribe this video with your loved one so that they will get to know better. So this is Carrie Anderson signing off. We will definitely meet in the next video with my other content. Till then, God bless you. Bye bye.